The other day I was with my friend Nobby Nibbler, in the pub, you know, discussing various current affairs. And I said to him, it's interesting, isn't it, Nobbs, you know, that given the recent, presidential election, that of all the women who voted, 43% of them voted for Donald Trump, you see. And he said, that's interesting. I said, yes. And I said, well, you know, this would imply, would it not, that 43% of American women wouldn't object to being manhandled by a grotty little insect, you see. At which point he started to think, you know. So he said, so you can extrapolate from the American elections, can you, that 2 out of 5 American women would not be unwelcoming some sort of physical intervention by a gentleman. And I said, well, yes, you could indeed extrapolate from the American election that, indeed, 2 in 5 American ladies would not be unwelcoming of being interfered with by some grubby little cretin, like you, for example. He ignored the insult, but I could see his brain working feverishly. After 5 minutes of mental activity, in which the cogs were going round very, very quickly, he made his excuses and left. Three weeks later, I saw Nobby Nibbler for the first time since our encounter in the pub, walking down the street, you see. He was looking decidedly worse for wear. He had 2 black eyes and a broken nose. So I said to him, Nobbs, come to the pub, you see, and we'll have a sit down and a chat, you know, over a pint. And so he came along, you know, and I said to him, where have you been? And he said, well, following our last conversation, you see, I decided to go to Washington. I said, ah, do you mean Washington D.C. or Washington State? And he said, no, Washington Time and Weir. It came out that he couldn't afford the airfare to either Washington D.C. or Washington State, but could just about manage to get the bus from Thirsk to Washington Tyne and Weir. Anyway, so I said to him, so what happened when you went to Washington Tyne and Weir? And he said, well, following our previous conversation, you see, I figured out that my luck would be in, you know, if I kept at it. And I said, so let me get it straight. So, based on the American elections, taking an American sample and extrapolating from this a certain state of affairs in America, you went to the northeast to try and impose your intentions on the unsuspecting female population. He said, yes. I said, right. So I said, what happened? He said, well, the first lady who I, approached wasn't very forthcoming. And I said, did she give you a black eye? He said, yes. And then he said, well, at least 1 down, you see. That meant 1 out of the 5 was a no, which meant that of the 4 remaining, you see, 2 out of them would be welcoming. So our now's on a 50-50 chance, you see. I didn't want to argue with his mathematics, but I went with it, you know. Anyway. So I said, so then what happened? He said, well, the second lady who I approached, you see, she wasn't keen either. And I said, did she give you the other black eye? And he said, yes. And I said, so what happened next? He said, well, you know, having had 2 no's, you see, now is on a 2 out of 3 chance, which is 66%, 0.6 recurring, you see. And I said, right. So I said, well, the third woman, clearly, she wasn't very forthcoming either. He said, no, on the contrary. She was very forthcoming and dragged me home with her immediately. So I said, how did she break your nose? He said, she sat on it. the other day I was feeling a bit bored, you see. Well, there was no test match on or anything, you know, I was a bit, weekend, not much to do. So anyway, I phoned my friend Nobby. Nobby Nibbler. Not his real name. Anyway, I said, Nobby, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm doing my car maintenance, you see. And I said, that's very interesting, he said, what is it? That's what he said, I'm never paying out for things in the garage, you see. Things like services and fiddling about and changing parts, you see. So I'm doing something myself to save myself some money, you see. I said, right, so okay, right, so what are you doing? He said, I'm oiling my brakes. And I said, that's interesting, you're oiling your brakes. I said, do brakes need oiling? He said, well, you see, the problem is they wear out quickly, you see, but if you oil them, they wear out far more slowly, you see, thus saving you money. And I said, well, surely brakes are there to stop the car from moving by way of friction, you see. If you put oil on your brakes, don't you reduce the friction? And he says, yes, of course you do. That's how you save money. And I thought, fine, that sounds interesting. Anyway, I let him get on with it and I did something myself, whatever I was doing, I don't know what I was doing. Anyway. And in the end, he was right. It did save him money. Because his car spent the next 3 months in a ditch at the bottom of the road. The other day, I was in the pub with my friend Nobby. Nobby Nibbler. Not his real name. And we were talking about Julius Caesar, you see. Now, Julius Caesar had a very big nose. And also, he was epileptic. Anyway, it also turned out that Julius Caesar was very embarrassed about his balding head, you see. And so what he used to do, he used to take hair from one side of his head and comb it right the way over to the other side. So my friend Nobby Nibbler, not his real name, said to me, so you're saying that Julius Caesar had a Bobby Charlton comb-over, you see. And I said to him, I said, no, you fool, no, they wouldn't have said that, you idiot. Julius Caesar lived during the time of the Roman Empire, you see. He would have called it a Bobbius Charltonus comb-overus, because they spoke Latin. Honestly, the man's a complete idiot.